Hey, all right, week 2, we get our first lectures and review quizzes and all that are coming up this week. So first off, real quick, most everybody, last time I checked, I think everybody but one or two have done some type of an assignment, whether that's the attendance verification assignment or the syllabus quiz or diversity project or something like that. So as long as you have completed assignment, you're good. You can block out the next 20 seconds. If you have not completed an assignment yet, I need you to do that as soon as possible, and I need you to send me a message and let me know that you did that. I sent out messages to students who haven't done one yet, but just in case you didn't see that message and you see this, make sure you do that. The reason is at the end of the week, so Thursday, September 1st, students who have not attended get dropped from their classes. Since we are an online class, attendance means that you did something in the class. So if you have not completed an assignment by Thursday, then you'll get dropped from the class. So please do that as soon as possible. It's early Thursday too. Don't put it off until that night because you'll try to log in Blackboard and your class won't be here. All right? Okay, so just make sure you do that. All right, so for everybody, our first lecture is this week. It is Intro to Animals / Sponges and Cnidarians. So here's what that means. In this class, we're going to cover animals, fungi, and plants, and animals are what we start off with. So the first part of this lecture video is just going to be like an introduction, general characteristics about animals. We'll talk about like how animals develop and things like that. And then about halfway through the lecture, we switch and we start looking at specific types of animals. So we're going to start off with sponges, and cnidarians are things like jellyfish and like really simple animals. So we're not starting off with anything complex. We're going really simple to begin with. Watch that video. Remember, print off the PowerPoint and like as a handout, and you can take notes. If you have any questions about anything, send me a message when you're done, and I'll be glad to help you out with anything you feel like you're having trouble with. But just make sure you watch that video. There is a review quiz that is open now, and you've got until Sunday, September 4th to do that. So just whenever you finish the lecture video, you can have your notes with you, you can have your PowerPoint handout, but just take that review quiz. That's a chance to make sure that you kind of understood the material that we went through. Okay? Other than that, you had a few assignments last week, the About Me survey, the syllabus quiz, the diversity project. Make sure that you do those. Those were open last week. Most of you have done them already. But if you haven't, you've got until Sunday, September 4th. That's when those are all going to be due. All right. I mentioned this last week, but the SI Cloud is our lab website. So number one, make sure you've ordered the lab kit. If you haven't done that yet, you really can't put it off anymore. Your first lab is going to be due at the end of next week. And I've mentioned before that it can take a couple weeks for your lab to come in. So if you haven't bought a lab kit, you've got to do that now, and you've honestly got to hope that it arrives in time so that you'll have it to complete that first lab assignment. Okay? Once you order it, it will unlock SI Cloud. That's our website. So even though if you order it, you're not going to have your lab kit the next day or so, there's a couple prerequisites that you need to work on. One of them is getting started, one is on lab safety, and then one is on your lab kit inventory. All that is to make sure you know how to use the website, make sure you know how to be safe when you do the labs, and then it's just going to get you to check your lab kit to make sure that you received everything you were supposed to. All right, go ahead and do those this week because next week is going to be your first lab, and you don't want to have to deal with that when you've got a real assignment that's due. Go ahead and get the prerequisites out of the way, okay? All right, finally, and this is a big one. I'm calling this a practice exam, so that makes it sound like it's kind of simple and it's not important. And it's not hard at all, but it's really important that you make sure you follow the instructions on this. Your first exam is coming up before too long. It's not next week, but it's the week after that. We're using Respondus Lockdown Browser in this class, and I don't think anyone is a fan of it. Honestly, it's a headache for me. I know it's a headache for y'all. I've heard that. I'm sympathetic. I understand that. But it's what we have to use right now. So I just want to make sure that we know what's expected when you use Respondus Lockdown Browser, and then I also just want to make sure we don't have any technical issues that are going to cause us problems when the real test starts. Okay? So if you go to the exam tab at the very top, there's going to be a folder that says practice exam. Open that up, and at the very top, there's a video that I recorded that's going to show you what you need to do when you take the exam. Please watch that. Like, it'll save you so much headache and miscommunication that might cost you points. So watch that video. It's going to show you how to download Respondus. And then the big thing is when you start your exam, you're going to have to do a recording that shows your environment. I want to make sure you know like what you need to do when you do that recording. Okay, so watch that video. There's some other instructions if you need help, but you're going to download Respondus Lockdown Browser, and then you're going to take a practice exam. And this practice exam is questions like, what's my name? And like, what year is it? You don't have to study for it at all. When you take that practice exam, though, I want you to read the instructions because it's going to tell you what you have to do. You have to clear your desk or table surface. You need to be like on a flat surface. You're going to show the area in front of you, and you're going to show a quick 360 of your surroundings. And then after you do that, it's going to keep recording you. You're going to have the webcam centered on you while you're taking the practice exam. You have to do that during the real exam, so I just wanted to give you a chance to do it on a practice exam. And that way, if there are any issues, I'll be able to give you feedback before the real test that's coming up later. Okay? So that's open now. You've got until Wednesday, September 7th, so you've got until next week to do that. But if you'll go ahead and get it out of the way, that'll give me plenty of time to give you feedback. If you've got to redo anything, I can reopen the test for you, and you can make sure that you do it right. Okay? If you have any questions or if you need help with anything, let me know.